And all right, good morning, everybody. Looks like we are all set. Volume levels look good. So let's go ahead and get started and just say welcome back. As always, this is Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared. It is April 18th, 2022. I hope everybody had a relaxing and enjoyable 3-day weekend from the markets. We're able to spend some time taking a break from some of the price activity that we always look at, and hopefully got some time to relax and unwind. But overall, we are back on a full trading week this week, so 5-day week. And as always, given that it is Monday, we're going to start off by looking at the expectation of movement for the S&Ps starting in this week. So last week was a shorter trading week. The market was pricing in approximately a $76 expected move. And as you can see from last week's price activity, we did breach that expected move on Tuesday. We had a bit of an attempt to come back into the expected move the following session. And then on Thursday's session, we ended up closing at the lows, essentially 100% retracement from the Wednesday move to the upside. And what this looks like on an intraday session is lots of back and forth activity. You'll see that there were some days where the market essentially trended in one direction, the next day giving it all back, bounces in between, and lots of price activity interaction between the expected move. But overall, the market was in balance for a couple of days, and the range of price movement in between that balance zone was quite high. So looking at the week ahead, the market has gone ahead and priced higher expectation of movement because last week the actual move, and remember this is marked from Friday's close to the lowest price levels that we got to, that lowest print was about 120% outside of expected move. So 100% would be an exact touch, an exact move to the bottom or the top side, and a little bit lower or higher gives you that higher percentage. So on a 4-day trading week, the market was able to move about 90 points. This week, with all of the upcoming earnings and the expansion of volatility, we are seeing an expected move of about 98 points. Now, what this does, it gives us our price levels for us to monitor and respond to if the market is to breach or even come back inside the expected move for the week. And those price levels are about 44.91 to the upside and 42.95 to the downside. What you'll notice, and this is often just a little bit of nuance when using this type of analysis, is where these price levels are and what sort of pressure does it put on the market if one of those levels is achieved. For example, if we see a test of the upside expected move, what it does is it puts all of these bears in the market under pressure. Anyone who shorted the market last week would essentially be underwater. And what that's indicative of is if we start to see a move from some price level to the upside, it can be equivalent to looking at a technical style breakout where we are sort of breaking our trend line. That's not perfect trend line drawing, but overall there's some relative trend line in this area, and a breach above would also be indicative of some sort of bullish breakout. So that would be worth interpreting. If we continue on the downside, it is where the momentum is currently facing, and it's where the market is trying to find some stabilization. The lower bound of 42.95, once again, where does that put the market? Well, it puts the market right around these types of price levels, which are where the market was the most volatile before seeing our more recent sort of reaction from the lows. And as I pull this out slightly, just to that's actually should be good, just got to zoom it out. You'll see that not only is this price level important because it puts us at an area of additional market balance. You know, we were looking at this area of balance first to hold. That's where a lot of the price action last week was centered around. If we head lower, we get another one of these zones where the market is back and forth trading, lots of volatility intraday, but the intraday price ranges are higher. And that's going to be indicative of what to expect as well. The lower we tend to go, especially on expected move breaches, we can also expect the market to expand its intraday range. And if you recall, a couple of weeks back, there was a point in time where we were discussing how this behavior can change us as intraday traders. For one, if we're in a higher volatility market, we can expect bigger moves intraday. So we can actually play towards price levels that an intraday trader wouldn't normally expect. For example, if the market tends to move, let's say $2 to $3 in a lower volatility range, usually as the volatility is bottoming overall, and this is also indicative of some of the higher price levels, you'll get smaller intraday sessions. The market only tends to move a little bit, and whether it's trending or not on the intraday session, you're still only allowed certain price levels to be achieved. As volatility expands, usually whenever some relative top has or bottom has been met, you're going to see higher price readings relative to the intraday session, usually near relative lows. And this is also indicative of the highest volatility we've seen overall. So a big question moving forward is not only where is the market headed, but what sort of price activity are we going to be experiencing as intraday traders? And as an intraday trader, inherently, you want the market to be moving in either direction with some conviction. So you actually like days that are almost one directional, usually wide in range. And what that offers is the best opportunity cost, so long as you're following some sort of trending model or very selective in your reversal patterns depending on the type of day that is offered by the market. So all of this said, what we have this week is a wider expected move. So we can expect, hopefully, some wider price activity in the S&Ps. Remember, we're coming off of two 75-point expected moves. The past 2 weeks have been basically the same expected move range. This is the first time we've seen the expansion over the past couple weeks. And where it's putting the lower bound is also important, because we have some historical precedent as to what intraday trade looks like at those price levels. So keep all that in mind as we move forward. It's not necessarily about being a bull or a bear. It's about expectation of movement in these price ranges, and also seeing the signals to indicate that some of those days might be upcoming. For one, testing these price levels would be the first part. So shifting over to the SPY. What I've done is I've removed some of the price levels we were looking at last week. I've just kind of simplified inflection points in the market. Probably clean these up and go ahead and get those perfectly aligned to their respective lows and highs. And what you'll notice is more recently, we've been talking less about trends. We've been talking less about directionality in the market. And what instead we've been talking about is bias. For example, usually there is moments in time where the bias on the market has a higher probability of leaning towards one camp. Whether it's bull or bear is based around certain areas of the market. And what you'll notice is that at the most extremes, that bias becomes apparent and very evident. Usually those extremes are going to be marked by some of the highest volume readings we've seen. You'll also have very strong reactions at relative lows. And then of course you'll have technical signals like that double top that marked off sort of the top end of where we've been trading, and this failed expansion or just upper test that the market has given, leading to our more recent sell swing. Now, these are inflection points. They're moments in the market where the directionality has very obviously changed. We've gone from going up to going down, and your best case scenario is to look at profit taking if you're on the right side of the trade, or even thinking about initiating a trade against what was a previous directional bias. Now, what you'll notice is we currently have two areas of inflection that have been at least tested once. Just at the very basic levels, you have a low, a high, testing of the lows, and a test of the highs. So at the very basic levels, you have a range. You have a trading range that the market has formed. And this is very apparent on higher time frames whenever you remove a lot of the daily nuance and you're simply looking at where higher time frame candles have traded. You have relative lows and highs marked by topping tails and bottoming tails. Those are often going to be your biggest inflection points. And then of course you have sort of the areas of interest that are still set by previous levels, along with these moments in time to switch bias. What was once a very strong bullish uptrend has changed into the pullback on the weekly. And as we re-enter this middle range, this is where the market can start to make some intra-range decisions. For example, a lot of times when you have a trading range, we often like to bring up volume profile. It allows us to see where within this trading range is the highest trading activity, the highest transactional value for the market. And as you'll notice, the market is pretty much dead center in this area. We're either at VPOC if you're using a 1 year, 1 day time frame. The S&P is located at the highest transactional value, You'll also notice there's this 435, which actually stands out a bit more. And that was something we talked about last week, the market being drawn to VPOC. If the selling were to continue last week and that expected move breach were to have continued much more precipitously into the close. You'll also notice that as we look at this, we can bring up things like futures contracts. We did open on Sunday, and that's usually something a lot of market participants will watch, is what is the Sunday opening looking like? Other markets will start to interact with this open. They have different time frames for when their markets are open. And the reaction from this, along with getting into your Monday session, will sort of set the tone for the week. Where does the S&P open? Is it a gap down, a gap up? What's the overnight inventory looking like? Are more people net long, net short? Those are often going to be shorter time frame participants. And if you're a market profile theorist, you actually have some theory behind certain areas of interest that are marked by daily profile levels, certain key price levels that have rules and technical validation around them. But overall, what you'll notice is that the ES futures and that 435 area, which is where the ES futures are opening for 4,350 in the ES futures, this area is basically a high volume node for the market as a whole. So the question remains, what is the expectation moving forward for the market now that we are center inside of a fairly well-established trading range? What is the next move? And are we going to see the momentum of what is now a pullback, a sell swing, a failed expansion at the high, an upper thrust, an upper test, whatever you want to call it? What is the expectation of movement now that we are center? And this is where a lot of people are going to try to assign some information based around where the market does respond. So far, we haven't seen any bullish reaction that has held with any significance. Last week was Wednesday. We were trying to see if that could continue and break the CPI data release high, which marked the high of Tuesday's session in the pre-market. That did not occur. Market rolled over. We've been looking at fibs. We've been looking to see where can the market start to find some Fibonacci support. And if it finds support at one of these price levels, what does it mean? What does it project for the next movement of price? So for example, something like a pullback to the 50 is indicative that the market has retraced 50% of the move just at the very basic level, but the next move might set up something like a higher low before continuing forward, which means usually you won't see something like a straight shot outside of another setup to get long. If you pull back deeper, the market actually is looking at containing itself inside of this balance range. It's going to remain often inside of the trading range and continue to transact between the highest value nodes. A great example of this is where other markets have done some of this behavior. Once again, our cleanest and clearest trading range that we have to analyze is something like the IWM, which was in a trading range for an extended period of time. Remember that the S&P is just an index. It can mark these ranges based on the fact that a lot of its sectors are not really aligned in one direction. We've talked about that a lot last week. I probably won't go into that too much here, but looking at monthly performance, it should be pretty clear. We have some bulls in the market. We have energy as a bull. We have staples as a bull, real estate and healthcare, materials, I already said staples. And then we have some bearish sectors, ones that are either down in the past month or have seen continuation of a relative downtrend, have been underperforming overall. Technology and financials stand out, and of course communication services with some of our key market cap stocks. So all in all, what I'm trying to project here is not necessarily looking at the week as a directional week. The market is center. It's right in the middle of its trading range. So what can this week provide? Ideally, we're going to be seeing some reaction from earnings this week. And once again, just bringing up the trading terminal, which I so naively closed for some reason. Bringing up our earnings calendar. Make sure you're signed in. You can tell it's a Monday whenever I'm kind of stumbling over a couple of steps here. But bringing up the earnings calendar. These are going to be some drivers this week. That expected move of 98 points in the S&P, where is that movement going to come from? Probably from some of these key stocks. The ones that you might want to pay attention to. We're kind of rounding out some of our bank earnings. We've had JP Morgan, we've had Wells Fargo and Citi. We've even had a couple of credit market companies like Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. Most of those are done and done. They might have a little bit more expected move to extract from their future week series in the option market. But overall, we know the numbers. We've seen the initial reaction. Maybe they trade with a little bit more sympathy to each other as the market stabilizes. But we have Bank of America as one of our last names. Remember, too, if we go back to the XLF really quickly, this is where a majority of the bank focus is leaned on. So XLF, go to fundamentals, and we're looking just at bank holdings here. We're talking about the highest weighted banks. Bank of America actually represents about 6.5% of this particular industry inside of the XLF. And once again, just showing it represents also 6.5% of the XLF ETF. So it's one of our bigger bank names, even though we've seen a lot of price movement from the other top four. And as you move down, you notice these names are not as impactful. They actually start to drop off in their weighting as well. Same idea with capital markets. We have Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock as well. All higher weightings, but relatively equal. Whereas JP Morgan, for example, our highest weighted bank and one of the first to come out with earnings, some of the expectations there a little rocky for the future in the economy. So moving into the rest of the week, other names to pay attention to: J&J, big healthcare name. We've talked about how healthcare has been a standout bull. Where is that particular sector headed? And can J&J set a little bit of tone for future releases inside of healthcare? Remember, once as well, this also has some characteristics of consumer staples. J&J tends to kind of sit in between being a healthcare company, but providing a lot of staple-like products for consumers. Once again, with consumer staples being a stronger sector overall. And then, of course, we're looking at technology and communication services this week. Netflix coming out initially, the likes of Tesla on Wednesday. And as we move forward, you'll see a couple of key names here that you may want to focus in for earnings plays. But as far as what can drive the market, what has enough market cap to matter, a lot of those names are going to be kind of centered in the next couple of days. And then there's going to be some tail end names, maybe looking more towards transportation and some of the performance outside of the major S&P indices. So with all of that information, this week is jam-packed. It has a lot going for it. But what I want to caution you for is to be thinking directionally. Remember, most weeks are going to have some sort of theme for this Engineering the Market show. And what I'm going to lean on more this week is the idea of being in balance. The idea that the market may have found an area of interest where transactions can occur, and we can certainly see some intraday play, But overall, the market doesn't necessarily have to continue in one key direction. We can ultimately find a moment in time where the market is going to, for lack of a better term, chop around. And seeing that price activity, knowing how to play it, especially as a shorter term trader, along with understanding that you may not want to necessarily put on high directional risk when your relative location in the market is poor. For one, definitely don't be late to the party. Don't be thinking bullish at the top end of resistance. Don't be trying to expand the market higher when the market has already transitioned through what was a lesser defined range and now is a bit more clear. Also, don't necessarily be thinking that the market has to expand this week. The expected move gives us a clue as to what can be on the table. But overall, getting outside of the expected move is a rarer occurrence. It's a lower probability event. So the market already says that these price levels are what the option market is expecting. If we get outside of it, we can trade that as it's occurring, intraday or whatever. We can also play towards the general bias, which so far is still bearish. So the market may have a little bit more downside left in it. But if you see some sort of unknown reaction here based on earnings, based on whatever catalyst comes out this week, remember that the upside right now is centered around the expected move price. So we could see not only a bounce, but we could put pressure on last week's bears, basically moving through the balance range from last week. We would obviously need a catalyst to do that, as the market does have its bearish bias in the moment. So all in all, the goal this week is not necessarily to say, I don't know what direction the market's going. I really don't. Overall, what I'm saying is the location right now and the position of the market is fair. It's where the market has transacted the most over the past year. So as an analyst and someone who's trying to get bias in the market, going into earnings and looking at positioning, this is either where you should be taking profit as a bear who maybe caught some of this downside and wants to take off risk if the market does respond bullish anywhere in this location, or you're just looking for the next move. Are we going to set up a bullish case in mid-range price activity? Or are we simply going to fade back to the lows, back to these selling climax areas? And we'll talk about some theory behind this in the next couple of sessions. We'll mix that in, of course, with what's happening with earnings. We'll look at expected move for a lot of these earnings coming up. These are all concepts that are repeatable. It's what we're ultimately teaching on the show. And what we're looking at is really not anything new. It's just where the market is located and given us over the past couple of sessions. So what's in play? Obviously earnings. Keep in mind that there are some very strong tailwinds still in place for energy. Natural gas is not only moving higher, but going parabolic. Don't step in front of that train quite yet, but you may be looking for some short-term, short activity, or maybe starting to look at profit taking as we get to these climaxes. This market has broken out in a spectacular fashion. And remember, we looked at this very early before this move happened. This was the consequence of seeing the sort of the macro theme across the market. Crude having a strong reaction as well, holding up its weekly lows and avoiding a weekly trend change, seeing a strong reaction and actually closing above the pivot from last week. So very strong reaction off that low. Energy markets remain relatively strong. The dollar as well elevated, looking for a fade, but ultimately not seeing it quite yet. And overall, this still is a range breakout. So the upside here is essentially a doubling of this range. We're pretty much at that price level at the moment. Strength in silver, coming out of that falling wedge, seeing some of the divergence there between pricing and volatility levels. And then, of course, gold as well, seeing another reaction off of the weekly low, defending that price level, and so far breaking out to the upside. So where's the strength in the market? It's not in what we're used to. It's not in tech. It's not necessarily in big market cap names currently. Instead, it's in metals, XME, for example, breaking to the upside, a trending market, gold and silver, energy names, and then, of course, those couple of key sectors, staples, healthcare, which did pull back. This might be an opportunity to look long, along with materials, which are coming into play as they are testing their upper trading range. So keep an eye on these sectors. Keep an eye for opportunity, and overall trade safe this week as we discuss opportunity moving forward. So as always, stay tuned for the pre-market prep. We'll talk more tomorrow, and we'll look a little deeper into some of these theories. So see y'all then.
All right. Good morning, my friends. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible weekend. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing well. I hope you are too. I hope you got some rest your long weekend after your hard day at work last week.
Yes. I did get a very nice break there. Thank you, man. Yeah, it was pretty nice to have that 3 day weekend there, guys. Welcome. Hopefully, you guys did very well. Happy Easter for those that celebrate. Let's get to it, guys. We're definitely having an interesting morning. As you can see here, Twitter's going to be in this gappers list. I feel for a very long time, Norm. I think we're going to see this here in play for weeks to
On one
come.
side or the other, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Not always green, but on the red side as well. It's going to be fun. They're up 2.8 this morning. We'll get into that and see what's going on there. I haven't seen on any of the latest tweets from our friend, but yeah, I'm sure there's some stuff going on
Talk about
always
it in a
here.
second.
Yep. And then here at the gapping down, we got a couple of things. VREU, I know that was crazy last week. That's gapping down 8.4. We'll see how that's doing. And yeah, so looking forward to another week here of trading, another full week of trading. Norm, what's the latest and greatest on our overall market?
Well, as for economic data, the home builders index at 10 a.m. Happy tax day. Just a reminder. I got to go write a check in a little bit and throw it in the mailbox
Yeah,
for
yep.
estimated taxes for first quarter myself. But yeah, fun times. 4 days a year that suck. Anyway, I mean,
Yes.
we'll see what's going on. The thing is, man, I was thinking about this morning, listening to some financial news, reading some financial stuff. So many people calling for recession. Um,
I
it's
know, man.
crazy, or thinking there's going to be one, and you can think yourself into a recession or scare people into a recession by freaking them out enough they don't spend. But generally, these
Hmm.
things, the stock market issues, don't come. Don't come when everybody's expecting it. So
That's
I'm,
my
I'm
thing. I'm
curious
with
to,
you there. Hmm.
if you think about the financial crash, sure, you have a few people that were calling for a stock market crash and all that stuff, but not many. And you didn't hear of them before it happened. You heard of them after it happened, even though they might have been calling for it beforehand. So we'll
Right.
see. It's going to be an interesting rest of the year. So right here in the heart of earnings season, obviously, or just excuse me, at the start of earnings season, yeah, little China news. China's had some issues. They had GDP come out. You can never really trust the numbers that they throw out there. It was better than expected, but they did note March issues, and that has a little bit of fear in some of the Chinese tickers that are up.
Yep. Absolutely, man. All right, guys, let's get into our gappers list this morning. Let's remove the stuff we had yesterday here. Control A, Control X, gets rid of that. And did I link my trade ideas? Yes, I did. So here is Twitter, guys. Let's take a look here. Some levels we did last week, I think, are still good for us this morning. So we have up here some of the levels we did before. So we'll keep those there. But Twitter obviously is going to be in play, guys, up 3%, 3 million shares traded. We're going to put this on here, Twitter. And yeah, that's going to be a fun one. As I mentioned.
So Elon tweeted yesterday, quoting Elvis Presley's song "Love Me Tender." Some people thinking that might be a hint at a Tinder offer, which essentially is an open offer to shareholders to buy their shares at a certain price. A lot of times, if that takes place, there's stipulations involved. For instance, for that to actually take place, and it wouldn't be on the open market like we're doing here. It's done a little bit differently, and not to get in the weeds on that, but it might say, unless 60% of the available shares are offered to me, it's no deal. So
Yep.
that has not formally come out. We also happen to have a special date coming up on Wednesday that who knows if Elon, there's some predictions he might either increase his bid or do something on Wednesday. So, yeah.
But we'll see.
It's going to be in play, like you said, one way or the other.
We're going to be having this for a long time here. Here's Twitter, guys. So that's good to go. Joby, Joby, this morning. They are up 2%, 163,000. I don't see a great pre-market activity, and that's not really great volume. The ticker sounds familiar. I think we might have looked at it in the past.
Yeah,
It doesn't look great, though.
These are little vertical takeoff plans, our planes, excuse me. It doesn't trade great. I'm not seeing anything this morning, but maybe I'm missing it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like
volume's a little
trading it
bit
anyway,
light.
so I don't,
Yeah.
sometimes you see these a $5 ticker, kind of a garbage stock, garbage company-ish. I don't try that hard, to be frank.
Yep, absolutely. With you there. We'll skip on Joby again, guys. Just doesn't look great. Volume is very, very light, going under 2% now, so it's not hitting our scanners. Here it is, Ion Q this morning. It is up 2.4. Very interesting pre-market activity, and again, it's just not one that I'm interested in looking at. Doesn't look great at all. Even when it has volume at times, it's still very difficult to trade this one. Today doesn't have nowhere near the volume I would like to see on that ticker. Here is TEL. They are up 2.1. Again, sitting on the American Stock Exchange, which these tickers, they tend to not trade the best. Yeah, weird price action. This was not looking any good this morning. I mean, just nothing looking great about this. So, wow, this cappers list, only Twitter. Everything else is pretty much garbage here, guys. Gold, not up 2%. Again, I don't usually put this on my list, but they're up slightly this morning. Not a great volume, but this volume usually doesn't get going into the market open anyway. So if you like to trade that, there's some couple of ETFs that are a little bit better, I think, if you want to trade the gold sector. It probably have more liquidity than this individual ticker would. So Let's see what's gapping down today. TGTX. Is this Target X?
No.
What? Oh, okay.
This
Okay.
is TG Therapeutics. They withdrew a drug, I believe, from trials. I don't think it had been approved, but
Mhm.
um,
They're getting a
oh
nice.
no, it had been for sale. It had been
Yeah.
for sale anyway. Some real issues there. So they pulled a drug
Mhm.
over some concerns that were going on. Once again, $5 ticker.
Yeah, trading pretty crappy as well this morning. Not clean at all. Down 35%. A nice gap down. I'm just concerned how clean this is going to be at the market open with these type of tickers. So I'm gonna skip on that for now. Do we even have shares for short? You do have shares for short on this. If you're interested, just be very careful. Here's an INDO this morning, low flow stock that's been active for us before a couple of wow, almost a month now. It didn't seem like that long ago. But Indo, as you guys know, this thing has been very active.
Yeah, it was on our list every day for a while ago. And isn't it fitting Indo comes back on week of 420?
Yeah, that's right. It started
That's
preparing,
that
looks like
special
last
date I
week
was talking
too.
about. Elon might do something on Wednesday.
I would not be surprised, man. He's so into these little things that, would not surprise me. So guys, Indo here up 11.4. I know you guys like this one. Low flow stock though. Got to be very careful. I'm gonna put it on here. It does need more volume though, guys. 132 is not gonna cut it.
Yeah.
Let's see if that can pick up. It needs a lot more volume.
Sure.
VERU. This one is interesting, and I spoke about this a little bit last week. We spoke about it last week. You know, they have a good positive catalyst on here, and they're up. They're down right now 7.6, but the overall the daily looks really nice as far as a continuation and possible a place in here. So I'm gonna put as a possible for now. Volume is there, 1.1 million. The issue with this one, guys, is the price action, especially after the first day. It has been really, really tough. Like if you looked at the price action on Thursday, um, again, very tough to take a trade on this. Andrew, obviously, with his experience, was able to take a nice entry in here, but overall, it is a very difficult stock to trade. So very careful. Not a low flow, but I would treat it like one. Actually, you know what? I am going to put it down here. Treat it like one because that's the way it is moving, guys. So don't be fooled by this 64 million. This thing is moving very aggressively. GNS, it is 10 million shares float, no volume, sitting on the American Stock Exchange, recent IPO, just a whole lot of stuff that's not making them look good this morning. We're going to move right on down to Billy. Billy this morning, they are down 3.8. 235,000. And Billy could be fun at times to trade. Maybe a Apostle for now. Doesn't look great just yet. PDD making an appearance down 3.5, 302. So. We'll see. A lot of these Chinese stocks taking a hit this morning, as you mentioned, Norm, right? Based on the not what they reported, but the ones potentially coming out.
Slowdown in March and
Yeah,
guidance
yeah.
moving forward. A little bit of concern there, yeah.
So you have Futu here, you have Baba as well. I tend to like Baba. They tend to be a little bit cleaner out of all these Chinese stocks. I'm going to watch Baba this morning, see how that news is going to affect them today. Not doing a whole lot right now. They're only down 2.1, 184,000. But I do like their daily. And again, when they get going, if they pick a direction, they can trade very well and get some nice continuation. So we got some pretty good levels towards the bottom here that we can be looking forward to. All right. With that said, that completes our gappers list. Norm, anything you like on your end this morning?
I'll throw three out. CASA, C-A-S-A, has a deal with Verizon that was announced this morning. Multi-year contract that came out a little while ago. And then BAC had earnings. It usually trades pretty slow. It might not do anything, but it's out there. The bank's still in play as they continue to report.
Yep.
In OCGN, this one used to show up far more often.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out that it's a $3 stock. This used to be in play all the time. And now it's garbage, but they did have news. I believe something with Mexico.
OCGN, yeah. We'll put OCGN on here.
I think it's their COVID vaccine in Mexico or something of that sort. So
yeah,
it was in play earlier, but yeah.
All right, we'll see
I'm kind of grabbing for scraps here.
Yeah. Well, when you're mentioning Bank of America, I know things are not all that great, but Bank of America does have a little pop today here, so we'll see where that goes. Casa definitely looking very nice this morning. Not a low float, by the way, guys. This is sitting at 30 million, so shares float. But again, still be careful. It's a lower price. It can definitely move, especially when you have 5 million already this morning. All right, let's take it to the room, guys. See what you guys like today. Jason, we'll start with you. Elsit, let's see what's going on there. Lucid, actually. This one, it is, well, we haven't looked at this one in a while, it feels like. They are pretty much flat right now. Is there any news? I'm not, it definitely needs volume, as you mentioned, Jason, here. I do like the daily. We're sitting at a level here that we found support in the past, right over here and here. So that's nice. But outside of that, I'm not seeing anything great going on at the moment. How about any other EVs? We'll take a look at Neo, not much volume right now. How about Tesla? What is Tesla up to? They're pretty quiet as well. All right, so everything else is pretty quiet for the most part. So that might be one. I'm not going to add it to my list. We might have to wait a little bit for that one to get going here. Chris MC, good morning, my friend. You're giving us Oxy. What I miss?
Oh, you check the chat from Harry K. The picture, the image he just threw up.
Harry K. Where is it? Where he put it? I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Got it. Oh, this is good. So here's our friend and buddy Harry there. Are we making an offer on Wednesday to buy just for the shares? Only if Cosby stay on board. That is beautiful. Thank you, my friend. That is good. Oh man, that's a good
Oh
one.
boy.
All right, Oxy, let's start there. Chris, let's go back to you. Not doing much right now, of course, but energy's still hot. Yes, I agree. Energy's still hot. This one's not doing a whole lot at the moment. I fully agree with you there. We can put it as a possible and come back to it a little bit later. Again, not the best morning so far, but we know how that goes, right? Can pick up very quickly. With just someone tweeting something. Nvidia here is sitting. I like the daily on Nvidia, guys. Look at the level of support we're having here. We every time we have dropped to this since February at least, right, or January, we have found a bounce or some kind of support. Not looking too hot though right now because every time we gapped up, we have sold off here. So I'm not sure. That's interesting. I like Nvidia today. I'm gonna put them on here. Nvidia, like the daily, not much volume right now, but the daily does look interesting. All right, AMD, Mr. G. Let's take a look. AMD right now, it's okay. Also taking a bit of a hit. Um, Possible, I guess, for now. Heading down, CAT from Blake Anthony. CAT. Oh yeah, this Caterpillar. Yeah, this is a tough one. Unless they have a catalyst. Great day on Friday though, man. Great day. This is nice pop here. Looks like what, $7 pop, but almost 10. Yeah, it's a tough one. Right now, I'm not seeing anything. You might have to wait for the market open. If you look at Thursday's action, you did have no volume, no volume whatsoever, and you still traded somewhat decent. So you can't put too much weight on the pre-market on this one. You have to wait for the market open on Caterpillar. But daily does look interesting for a possible pop or drop because you're getting at an area of resistance here as well. Snow, let's see here. Snow, yeah, another one that's a little tough to trade. So yeah, I won't be adding any of these just yet. Caterpillar will have to wait for that to get going with some volume. Will be tough for it to do another day like it did on Thursday, right? They usually don't have that continuation unless there's some kind of huge catalyst behind it. XLE, guys, no, I don't see any volume on this one. Sitting on the American Stock Exchange. Actually, this is a ETF,
Yeah.
and this one is for
It's the energy.
energy, right? Yes, yes. So you can look at this one, or you can look at Oxy. If you look at Oxy's daily, looks very similar to this as well. All right, Twitter, we do have, of course, cash. I would think a cash will be in play today. Yeah, yeah. I will not be. I will. You want to be careful. See what happens today. All right, let's go over to our YouTube chat, guys. Good morning there. What do you guys like this morning? We'll start with Jeff. Casa deal on Verizon. Yeah, so yeah, we have that one. Norm put that one out there, and yeah, that's looking good this morning. Very active.
No,
SHV.
no.
Oh wow.
That's a treasury ETF, a short treasury. It just no,
Yeah, look at this.
no,
This is
no.
just yeah, no, my friend. Oxy, we have Oxy QW, thank you. ATER, why does that sound familiar? Did we look at this before? Maybe last
Yeah,
week?
yeah,
Yeah.
we've had it on the list. It's well, hadn't been so much recently, but a few weeks ago. it was in
This was
quite a
when
bit.
this was the day I was traveling. Actually, I had a great trade, I think, on this one when I was traveling that day. Yeah, that's what I remember. I think Peter and actually we were both off. Peter and Thor were looking at this one. I don't see a whole lot
Mm.
going on today, guys. I mean, a couple of days here, you see a lot of resistance happening here now, so you want to be careful there. We're dropping. Just be careful on this one. I don't like it for today on ATER. Could be wrong, could be in play. The volume is there, but right now it needs to pick some kind of direction. It needs something to get going.
This morning they announced a new COO,
Hmm.
but I don't think that's enough to
Yeah.
do a
They
whole
had
lot.
something going on before, as you can see here, right? Obviously, volume picking up, and yeah, I don't think that's gonna cut it for them. QSSYF. What is this? No.
Synchrony
Uh,
Financial. I think they had earnings this morning.
yeah. We need more than that. So not looking good right now. Only 14,000 shares traded, so not really in play at the moment. Spy. Yeah, yeah, Jacob. I mean, you could always look at the spy. I'm always have the spy up anyway. Just to see what's going on there. You can look at that if you would like to trade it. I know there's a few people that like to trade the spies directly, like Thor. He does that, and a couple of other people in the chat. There's some other ETFs you can use as well that mirror the SPY that are a little bit better as far as liquidity. Sometimes, times three, which they can move a little bit better, but you got to also mind your risk. But yeah, we're always watching the SPY. Very active this morning. Love the daily on it. We'll see how things are going to end this week. As Nora mentioned, people keep pushing for a recession, which is it's just I don't know. It's just insane. Just insane. Um, all right. I think we are all set. Last one here. IMPP. Ticker sounds familiar. But no, this is because we had it active a couple of weeks ago here. But yeah, today's not doing anything, guys. You do not want to be involved in this, and it's just horrible, horrible, horrible. So yeah, I will definitely keep this off my list. All right, we have a decent list so far with what we have: Twitter, Baba, Casa, and Nvidia. And I think that will do it for right now, guys. We're gonna go over to community events and announcements. We'll come back and fine tune this list, and we'll keep an eye on our gappers list. See if anything else comes up that might be worth taking a look at.
All right, Monday, quick weekly rundown. Brian swing trade session 2:30 in the afternoon in the chat room, and then onboarding with Carlos at 7, technology at 8. We'll talk more about those in a moment. Eamon at noon and on Tuesday and Thursday, trade reviews, success webinars Tuesday night, psychology webinars Wednesday night, mentoring 3 times a day on Thursday, and crypto on Friday. That onboarding session is open to everyone, regardless of membership status. If you're a trial member here, trying it out for a week, you can go 7 p.m. Monday night with Carlos. And then immediately following that, the technology webinar, 8 p.m. Kyle's doing tonight, Dash Trader Pro Q&A. And then next week is using scanners news alerts to find trading opportunities with my man Carlos. All right. Tomorrow night, Thor talking about VPA 101. That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern. And the following week will be Eamon talking about parabolic reversal strategy that he uses. That's at 5. Note the special time. This week, Susan's going to be talking about, it says book review, but I will mention that this is more of taking Annie Duke's for psychology, taking Annie Duke's book on probabilities and thinking in bets. That's essentially the same thing, and applying that probabilities to trading and how to use that to help your psyche. Then next week, Mike's going to be talking about fear of missing out. Both of those are Wednesday at 8 p.m. Mentorship, as I mentioned, on Thursdays at 11 a.m., 4 p.m., and 11 a.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m. Of course, knowing how Andrew sleeps, he might do it at 11 p.m. I don't know. All right, stocktradingsimulator.com, guys. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to go over to stocktradingsimulator.com and try our free web-based trading simulator. And if you are watching on YouTube, haven't been in the room, use the pre-market code, premarket24. Go to bearbulltraders.com, scroll down about halfway down the page, click that test drive now button, enter the promo code when you check out, and it'll give you 7 calendar days in the room, 5 trading days at a discount, and then it cancels itself. Also, Spring 50 is our spring promotion going on, half off the Elite annual membership.
All right, thank you.
Just a reminder also, if you stuck with me through all those announcements, sorry I'm a little slow today, but if you could give a thumbs up on YouTube, much appreciated. Don't forget to like and subscribe over there.
Thank you very much, Norm.
Somebody's asking where Creda went. Guys, her schedule has gotten busier and busier with her own stuff. She always kind of did the pre-market show as a thank you to us, as a helping us out. Unfortunately, she had to cut it down to 1 time a week, and then figured that was kind of, and it's also, it's at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Portugal where she lives. So it cuts her entire day in half. Unfortunately, she's still doing some psychology webinars for us, but just not the pre-market show.
Yep. All right, guys, let's get to it. Our list here at the moment, we have Twitter, some amazing volume right now, up 2.8. We have Baba down quite a bit this morning. Not great volume, but hopefully that can pick up. Casa looking very good, very active, up 40% now, looking hopefully to break the high of the pre-market here. That will be nice if anyone is in this already. Here's NVIDIA. We are pretty much flat right now. I do like the daily more than anything. NVIDIA, especially if we break down, we might have a little flush happening here. We'll have to see how that goes at the open. AMD is also slightly down, actually a little bit more than NVIDIA. What about MU and Apple? MU pretty flat right now. Apple at the moment. The Apple might be a good one to look at today as well. So I'm gonna add Apple to my list just to kind of fill this in. I think we have a little bit of space. We can throw that in there. So, all right, so we're set. Apple, NVIDIA, Casa, Baba, and Twitter. Let's get some levels in here, guys. So we'll start with Twitter. Towards the top, I'm going to keep a lot of the stuff we had from before. We have 51, 50, 52, 78, 53, 95, 55. I don't think we'll get up here, but these are going to be in play for a while. So I'm just gonna leave them right on there. Towards the bottom, we do have our highs and lows from the last 2 trading days here, and 2 down here as well. Previous day close line, if you're new in the channel, is this dotted line right over here. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe. We are live every Monday through Friday, preparing for the market open. So that dotted black line is your previous day close. You can see the support we've been getting here, which is real nice. So we'll see if that continues. Already, that is very much the low of the pre-market, as you see here. Right over here, testing that previous day close, and your high of your pre-market over at 47.50. So we'll slam a level there as well. So I think you're pretty much set there. If we were to lose this 45, which I think is going to be tough to do that, because I think people are a little bit excited about Twitter, especially with what Elon is doing. I think it's going to be tough to lose that level unless he says he's completely pulling out of the whole situation. But I think it's going to be tough to lose that. I think people know there could be some value in this stock. If you guys remember, this stock has been pretty high before as far as price. I mean, this thing is 70 here, right? So it's at 46. You got someone like him joining the party. That could be a whole lot of fun for them. So we'll see. 41.66, another level towards the bottom if we were to lose this 45 area. Right on there. Here is Baba. Baba is down 2.4. Again, I think the volume could be better, but I like this stock, especially when it sells off. I think it's very clean on the sell-off part. 86.51, nice level there. Another one towards the bottom here at an 82. We got a couple there. But I do want to mark this one also here. 90.86 is a good one as well. Got a nice support happening there. Low of your pre-market sitting at 93.16, and that takes care of the bottom of this stock, below the price action at the moment. Towards the top, guys, you got plenty highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Previous day close, doing a really good job here. So that's looking very well there. Here's Casa, guys. Again, very active. We are at 7 million shares traded so far. So definitely in play today. High of the pre-market 562. Above, have we been? Yeah, above this, we do have some levels here. We have 596 is a nice one. We'll put that on. They look at the area of resistance there. I love this type of resistance where you have a complete change in direction. That usually gives that level a lot more weight to it. So definitely want to have that there. We also have 633 right up here, and we have this one 682. Now, this is not a low flow stock, guys, right? It's 30 million shares, so it's a little bit on the higher side. You still want to treat it like one. I think this thing can move very aggressive, so be very careful on your number, on your share sizing on this one when if you decide to take a trade here. Towards the bottom, I want to see some levels on here as well, just in case we do pull back more than what we have already. $5, you can clearly see it's a nice level there. Where the price action is sitting right now on the daily, you do have a level right on there as well over at 540. So 540, nice area of resistance here, nice area of support towards that 5. So you can see the ping pong action happening here. Definitely want to have that level on your list as well. Here is NVIDIA, guys. Pretty much quiet as far as pre-market activity, but I do like the daily quite a bit on this one here. So I'm going to keep it on deck for now. Sitting at the level of support on the previous day close line, looking really nice there. And below that, we do have a level at a 206.45. So 206.45, we'll mark that down there. That is good to go. And then below that 206.45, I'm just going to zoom in here between July and October. We do have something here at oops, this will be 195 and over down at 187 and just 178. I mean, we're not going to get there. Something terribly has to go wrong for us to get to 175, 178 on NVIDIA. Towards the top, guys, plenty highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, looking really nice there. Here is Apple. I'm gonna watch Apple just to have a tech, company here that can trade very well. Low of the pre-market sitting at 163. Towards the bottom of that, we do have daily levels here at 159. Might be actually 160, and then down here as well at 154. And well, why not? Let's just put down 150 since it's so clean, right? These levels they're easy to find, guys, because they're just sticking out, right? Look how clean these levels are. You don't have to go digging. It's always said that the level should be very, very clear. If you have to look hard for a level, you might be the only one looking at that level. And if you're the only one looking at it, then it doesn't mean anything, right? It's got to be nice and clear that everybody can spot it. Okay, that's the level right there. There could be some change in direction, some profit taking, some entries happening at that key level on the daily. So that's Apple for you guys, looking decent this morning. Volume starts to pick up a little bit. 553, still not great. We like we like to see heavy volume on Apple, but it is Monday morning and the list is not we don't have a lot to choose from. It's a lot on here, but not a lot that looks great. So hoping that the market open can bring some fresh tickers or some really good continuation of the ones that we do have already. Casa is breaking. There he goes. There is the break, man. Wow, nice, nice, nice. Above 562. That's the high of the pre-market. The next level I have here is 596. Let's see if we can get there. Anybody take that trade over on YouTube or in our chat? Anybody having fun with that already this morning? We're done pretty early on our levels here, so we have some time to hang out and kind of see what else you guys got going on. New pre-market high. Yep, new pre-market high. Let's see if we can get going here, or are we going to have some kind of pullback? 596 is the next thing I have. On my daily 596. You might have something happening here, right at this 588. You might. It's like a wick right over here. But let's see if we can get to 596. Let's see if we can do that. Caught the break from 550. Nice, very nice. Good job, man. All right, I see there's a lot of people that actually took that trade. So excellent, guys. Very good, very good. Trading in the pre-market is always interesting, especially if you made if you are very close to your goal and you trade in the pre-market already. It's like, right, do I just call it a day? Is it too early to go do something else? If you made your money, guys, just don't give it back. Try as much as possible to hold on to it. I'm going to be very careful when I say this, but making money in trading is easy. It is very easy. Keeping it is the problem. Keeping the money you make in trading is the issue. That is what the challenge is. Making it, anybody can make money. There's no question about it. It's a 50-50 chance. You get into trade 50-50, right? It's either going to go or not. Even if you have no strategy, just kind of hit the button, get in, and you can make money, right? Not that you should be doing that. You should have a strategy, because if you have your edge, that's what helps you make more money more consistently, right? But making money is easy. Keeping it, and being disciplined, that is where the true fundamentals are, when the issues come in. So, all right. So what else we got, guys? What else you have this morning? Casa looking very good, taking off nicely here. We our gappers list still looks pretty much the same. Not a whole lot of new tickers coming in, even now at 9:03. Um, what else? What else you guys like this morning? What's the difference between a regional quotes and in-depth level two? What's the difference between regional quotes? I'm not sure what regional quotes is. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not ashamed to tell you I don't know what something is. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, this is that." No, I have no idea what that is. Maybe it's a different name for it. Or do you mean level one versus market depth level two? Oh, it's a DAS package. Oh, you haven't looked at their packages and their names in a while because I've been signed up for them for a long time ago. So I never noticed the name of that package. But the one that you should be getting, guys, is the level two. It's the one that costs 150. There goes Casa, by the way. Let's see, what 596? Man, what a great stock right now. That's a nice push. Let's see if we get to 596 here. Um, Yeah, I forget the exact name. If one of the moderators can put the exact name of the one you need, you do need the level two, and there's a name for it, but it costs 150. That's the package that has the level two market depth that you need to sign up for. What's the difference between the assistant manager and the assistant to the manager? That's a good one, Jack. That's a very good one. I don't see any video. Noob, are you talking about our stream right now? No, you should be able to see a video. What video is working, so reset on your end. We're definitely sharing the screen and video is good. All right, folks. Let's see. Casa here. New 5 minute. Let's see if it goes here. This could be nice. Let's see. Usually you get a pullback, but if it goes, this thing could be pretty interesting today. Yeah, video is working, guys. Absolutely. All right, let's take a look here. So, guys, so far we have Twitter, and I'll wait for our moderators to throw their list out. I see only Dima has her list at the moment. It is early. Twitter, Baba, Apple, and Oxy. We do have Twitter on our list. We have Baba, which is a little quiet right now. Casas, obviously, we're looking at that. That's taken off. A couple of you guys already in pre-market on this one. Again, take profits, guys. Take partials. It's just put some money in your pocket because you know how these things can go. Not telling you what to do. Most importantly, follow your trading plan. But if your trading plan tells you to take profits, please do so. Nvidia here, guys, pretty quiet right now. The dailies, what looks really good on it. So we'll have to wait for the market open. Apple, same thing. We just got to wait for the market open. Apple went on this amazing run in March. I mean, like 11 days, all green. Even the ones that gapped down found their way up to the green side of things. Struggled at 177, which we knew. No one was talking about this for a while. This 180. We knew there was going to be some kind of struggles happening here. Deep pullback, obviously. The tech sector's been taking a little bit of a hit lately. Let's see what it does, guys. I think this was a good one. You can see here it's been very, very nice to trade. Carlos, what shortcuts to add new rows onto the market viewer? So to add new rows, I don't have a shortcut. What I do is if you double click here and you hit space and enter, right? And then from there, you hit backspace, enter, and just kind of do that. You can add new rows, right? So that's the way I do it. Now, if you want to clean it up, right, you just put it anywhere where it's clean, Control A, Control X. It will delete the tickers, but not delete the rows, right? Because you don't want to be doing the rows every time if you don't have to. So that's the way to do it. There's several other ways you can do it, but that's the way I find the easiest for me. Watching Casa for another pop. Yeah, it's holding here. It didn't pull back, right? It didn't pull back aggressively to this 562 or this 539. Let's see, man. Let's see if it can hold. I'll be surprised if it doesn't pull back a little bit here. So we'll see. Twitter at VWAP. Yeah, Twitter. Let's see. Yeah, Twitter. Yeah, try to get to VWAP here. This will be a lot of fun today and for the coming days. I think this is just has a lot going on it, so that's pretty good. Watching Casa, Twitter is good. What about Neo? Oh, I missed this question here. What about Neo? Let's take a look. I looked at it earlier. Yeah, it just doesn't have the volume right now, based on what we're used to seeing on Neo in the pre-market, right? This is pretty light as far as volume. So I would like to see more for sure. It just doesn't have it going on right now on Neo. So Maybe a possible, but again, I think some of these possibles here look slightly better than Neo. Maybe not PDD because this one actually does not trade that well. So I'm going to remove it. Oops. Maybe we'll add Neo instead, right? Neo might have a better chance than PDD to do something nicer. We have AMD, Oxy as possible. We have OCGN. We have Bank of America, which, by the way, it's got some good movement. Bank of America here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe Bank of America will be our fifth ticker today. We usually don't watch this one, but we know they're in play. They got 1 million shares traded so far. It's all about are they going to trade clean this morning? But yeah, financial sector obviously taking a bit of a hit. They haven't been doing well since the beginning of the year. So we'll see where it goes there. Then we have Billy as well on the list, another Chinese company. They're down 4%. I like this one because it's got a nice big drop to it. Also has lost a lot of daily levels here. This is a major level for them. They were holding for a while. They lost that. What's that? 25. The previous day close. Yeah, 24.94. Let's see if that can mean anything for Billy this morning. There's news out of China about not having a great March. So usually they had positive news on what they did the first quarter, but the second quarter not starting great, and that's usually more important when it comes to stocks. What does the future outlook looks like? Eddie, so the moderators list is just being built right now. I'll show that in a second. At the moment, we only have a few. Oh, here it is. We have a few more now. So yeah, we'll show that in a second. Show you the moderators lineup and see what we have going on there. Baba is rejecting the moving averages. Yeah, Baba is good as well. And then we have VREU here, which look at VREU, guys, starting to get going. Low of the pre-market now, 1356. I think, again, this is going to be in play again today. They have a good catalyst. It's very positive, a lot of positive news around it. Just be very, very careful. That thing is very aggressive. All right, let's bring our moderators lineup, guys. As I am doing this, let me resize this. Hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We appreciate it very much. If it's your first time, consider subscribing. We would love to have you come back again and join us every morning. So let's see here. Let's get our moderators list. Okay, here we go. All right, perfect. Here's our list here. Let's resize this so it looks good for you guys over on YouTube. There we go. All right, so starting with Dima, she's looking at Twitter, Baba, Apple, and Oxy. Jared's looking at Baba, PDD, Oxy, MRO, NVIDIA, secondary list, Bank of America, NEM, and X. Susan, Twitter, NVIDIA, Apple, and AMD. Tiffany, Twitter, Bank of America, and NVIDIA. Megan is looking at Facebook, AMD, NVIDIA, and PayPal. Peter reporting no IPOs for today. So there's a Peter 2 and a Peter 1. So Peter 2 reporting no IPOs, no SPACs. Peter 1 is reporting AMD, Twitter, and Apple. Excuse me, secondary list to be determined. And not liking much today on the watch list for Thor. So he'll be looking to see what gets going this morning. So, all right, excellent, guys. That is what we have at the moment. My list, Twitter, a lot of us have Twitter on deck. We have Baba. I have Casa, which did not make a new high in the last 5 minutes, but this is a healthy pullback, though. I got to tell you that much, right? You're not getting a huge drop down to like 550. So that's a healthy pullback. You actually want to see that, and buyers come in here if they're going to pop. So that's not bad. And you want to stay above this, right? You don't want to create a new low here. And it's doing that right now. Let's see what it does. This is looking very, very nice today. NVIDIA, we have Apple, and we have Bank of America, 1.1 million shares traded. Definitely some great volume here. And what's the news on Bank of America? They reported. What's the deal with them? Let's take a look here. What do we have going on? Bank of America. Oh, I got to sign into my trading terminal. By the way, guys, if you haven't checked this out, tradingterminal.com. Just really, really nice to get information, news, and all that fun stuff right out here. So definitely check it out. Let's go Bank of America and see what's going on with them today. Bank of America. Let's scroll down here. Strong buy on Bank of America. Profits drops less than expected. That's not good. All right, they're not doing well this morning, so we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. And here's our chat room, guys. For those that are on YouTube, if you ever want to try our chat room, here's what it looks like. We have here will be my video I obviously have this disabled because then you get like a mirror effect that'll go on forever. But here's our chat, guys. You have everything available here. You have also support right on here. You can have support tab, ask questions, throughout the day. You have your Benzinga, which you can get your news on from right here. We should have a trading terminal here as well. Okay, you should be able to go to trading terminal. Maybe we'll get that button there too. So you can click right to trading terminal and the simulator. Man, we should put all that stuff on there. See how we brainstorming here to make it easy for our members. Love it, love it. All right, guys. Here's Brian with his list. Baba, Oxy, Twitter, PDD, and Casa, which again, Casa 11 million right now, trying to hold here to go for another pop. So Blue Horse is asking, what is a trading terminal? Yeah, trading terminal is this website right on here by BBT, man. So you definitely check it out, tradingterminal.com. The BBT team, over Vancouver, Android, the programmers put this together, available for you guys so you can enjoy, right? So it's news, overall data, market stuff. Like I mentioned, you can get this anywhere, but the clean setup that we have on it is pretty neat. I love the way the setup is. You have no ads running around here. You have no pop-ups. You're not reading through a news article and you have to scroll down 30 times to get across announcements and ads. It's very, very clean, which I love, right? So definitely take advantage of that, guys. All right, guys, I think we are all set for today. Let me see if any more I minimized something. Any more moderators have thrown their lists out. We have, okay, here's Eamon. He's looking at potential shorts BYND and DKNG this morning, and that is what he likes so far. So, guys, thank you so much over on YouTube for joining us today. We appreciate you guys being here with us. We know you have options. We appreciate you guys joining BBT this morning to prepare. Hit that thumbs up as we sign off, and we will see you guys tomorrow or tonight for the engineering the markets. We'll see you tonight for the onboarding class at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So take care, guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you tonight or tomorrow morning. Have a good one.